What's going on, family? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is the King LiKuiD Show Sports Rap, and I'm your man, King LiKuiD. That's LiKuid. The K for the King, not the Q for the Queen. And on this edition of Sports Rap, family, I want to rap with y'all about Super Bowl 54. And I also want to talk to y'all a little bit about suspended Kansas basketball player Silvio DeSouza. So let's get into Super Bowl 54 first. Got a lot to talk about with y'all on that. I think it's going to be a very, very exciting Super Bowl. So let's start off with football first, fam. All right, family. As some of you know, and for some of y'all that don't know, Super Bowl 54 is rapidly approaching, and we are going to have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. Going to have it in beautiful Miami. They're going to have Shakira and Jennifer Lopez doing the halftime show. Shout out to Jay-Z. I'm not gonna disparage him too much because the brother is putting in a lawsuit against Parchment Prison for the deplorable conditions in Parchment Prison. But I just say Uncle Luke has a point. He's right there in Miami. He could have been a part of the halftime show. So I digress. Let's get into rapping about the upcoming contest between the 49ers and the Chiefs. So family, I'm gonna just tell you right off top. 49ers win this game. The 49ers win this game. And I'm going to break down why. First off, let's start with Kansas City. Now, everyone knows about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes the dude is like a video game character, man. I mean, this guy, at any given time, he'll put up 30, 40 points on you. I want y'all to remember when Kansas City was playing against Houston in the playoffs, and they were down against Houston. Like Houston was up on them like 24-0, 24-0. Okay, and in one quarter, Patrick Mahomes comes back, scores like 27 points in the second quarter, and the Chiefs are going into halftime with a lead. Think about that, family. Think about that. The dude comes out and puts up 27 points in one quarter. That straight up sound like Madden to me. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but that sounds like some Madden type stuff. So Mahomes is not to be slept on, okay? When Mahomes gets going and his connection with Travis Kelce, I mean, one of the best matchups that gives defensive coordinators around the league nightmares. Okay, but now, once I get past Patrick Mahomes and everything that he can do, and the weapon of Travis Kelce, and you definitely have some supporting components there with Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill. But what I'm concerned about is, what's up with the running game? Does Kansas City have a prolific running game? And I know there will be those detractors out there that will say, well, hey, they got here without necessarily having a prolific running back. They don't have a Raheem Mostert like the 49ers do. But be that as it may, they are there. Defense is another question that I have. They've been doing well, but we all know that defense wins championships and offense scores points. Now, with that said, fam, y'all got to remember that this is the first time in 50 years that the Chiefs are returning to the Super Bowl. So a great deal of incentive to do well, a great deal of incentive to win this one. But I just don't see it because back to what I just said before, defense wins championships. offense scores points. And I think Kansas City, they may find themselves where they're up against it. And that deficiency of the defense is ultimately what's going to cause them to lose this game. It's going to be interesting, like I said. I'm sure the 49ers are very, very well aware that Mahomes was able to put up 24 some odd points in a quarter against Houston. Tennessee was aware of it. They weren't able to stop it. But I think 49ers, they have more available to combat against Tennessee. So let's take a look at the 49ers and what they're going to be bringing to the table. I think the 49ers got the defense to balance out Patrick Mahomes. When you take a look at that 49er front seven with Nick Bosa and that pass rush on that defensive line, I mean, the 49ers D-line is probably one of the top three in the NFL. They're in the top three in the NFL. I'm thinking here to see who's really going to be better than the Frisco defensive line, and nobody's coming in my head right off the top. They definitely got that D-line. Now, I just mentioned previously that Kansas City, what's the deal as far as their running game? So if I'm a defensive lineman for the 49ers and I know I don't have to deal with a prolific running game, so now the next thing becomes pass rush, containing Patrick Mahomes and stop him from scrambling, okay? Stop him from extending plays. And I think the 49ers have the front seven between that defensive line and those linebackers, that linebacking core. I think they've got the front seven to contain Mahomes as well as kind of get Travis Kelce. I mean, the 49ers, from a defensive perspective, if you can hold Patrick Mahomes to, 3 touchdowns, keep him less than 3 or 4 touchdowns, and Kelce maybe get his 2 touchdowns, maybe he gets 100 yards receiving. Okay, all right. I can see that as a formula for the 49ers. And here's something else that y'all have to keep in mind. Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman is going to be going against who? Sammy Watkins? Tyreek Hill? Richard Sherman is not going against someone like a Julio Jones. Richard Sherman is not going against what I would consider to be a prolific, premier, #1 receiver. So I think Richard Sherman is going to not only be able to handle whoever he's responsible for, his assignment as far as a receiver, but he's also going to be able to coach up and get that defensive secondary ready to handle what Kansas City is going to do. I'm sure in the defensive backs room, as they're preparing, they're saying, hey, this guy's going to want to whip the rock. He's going to want to sling it because he's going to have to. So I started off this segment by saying that I think that Frisco's going to win this game. And I talked to y'all about the defense that Frisco's coming up with, but I think the way that Frisco wins this game and the weapons that they have that are going to take them towards success is going to be based on Jimmy Garoppolo and that offense. The way you beat Patrick Mahomes is a similar way that you beat a Tom Brady. You leave him on the bench. And the difference maker in this game is going to be Raheem Mostert. San Francisco's goal should be to come out, get an early lead, get up by maybe a couple of touchdowns if possible, okay? Now, as far as outscoring Patrick Mahomes, I don't think Jimmy G has what it takes to outscore Patrick Mahomes, but he don't have to because he's got Raheem Mostert. So the combination of Jimmy Garoppolo, Emmanuel Sanders, can't forget about George Kittle, because George Kittle is pretty much what Kansas City has with Travis Kelce, San Francisco has with George Kittle. All right. So if the 49ers come out and get an early lead, now it's just a matter of clock control and smash Kansas City defense in the mouth. Just play smash mouth football with Kansas City. Give the rock to Raheem Mostert. Hey, Raheem Mostert, he racked up over 200 yards rushing in the NFC Championship game against Green Bay. Now, when I consider Green Bay's defense and Kansas City's defense, I see them as being somewhat comparable. Okay, I don't see Kansas City as having this prolific defense. Tyrann Mathieu, yeah. Clark, yeah, but I just don't see it, family. And if I'm wrong, y'all checking this out on YouTube, leave your comments. Let me know what y'all think. Or if you're listening to this on Facebook or Twitter, leave your comment. Let me know what you think. If you think, hey, King LiKuiD, man, you're totally off base. You're on a whole other planet. Kansas City's gonna win this game. Tell me why. Share with me why. Okay. Now, with that said about Raheem Mostert and the success that he did have, I want to point out that Kansas City did have success against Tennessee. Okay, they were able to hold Derrick Henry to less than 100 yards rushing. Now, Derrick Henry did get his touchdown. Okay, Derrick Henry he's gonna do what he does, but they were able to hold him to less than 100 yards. But I want to point out that Tennessee has Ryan Tannehill as their quarterback. Okay. What does Tennessee have as far as a prolific number one receiver or tight end? Y'all see what I'm saying? So the 49ers have more on the table, and I think that more is ultimately going to make the difference, and the 49ers are going to win Super Bowl 54. I call it 49ers win 27-24. 27-24. The 49ers are going to want to keep this a lower scoring game. They're going to want to keep Mahomes on the bench. They're going to want to wear out Kansas City's defense with that run game. And just as it's been 50 years since the Chiefs have gone to the Super Bowl, it's been about, close to 30 years since the 49ers have been there. And the 49ers, we all know that pedigree of the 49ers and that championship pedigree. So it's going to be a good game. We've got two teams that haven't been in it in a long time, which is refreshing to see some new teams in the Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to that. And we've got two teams that are really going to go after one another. I think Mahomes is going to make some spectacular plays, as he always does. But I think at the end of the day, the defense of the 49ers, the running game of the 49ers are ultimately going to be the determining factor as far as the 49ers winning Super Bowl 54. If I'm wrong, leave your comments. By the way, family, if you are checking out the King LiKuiD Show on YouTube, or you're listening to me on Facebook, or you're listening to me on Twitter, or you're checking me out over at blackenough.com, leave me a comment. Share this video, okay? Like this video. If you are not subscribed to my channel on YouTube, subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Follow me on blackenough.com as well. I need y'all support, family, because the King LiKuiD Show and King LiKuiD Media is all in conjunction to support the rise of intelligent, independent, black-owned community radio. So next topic, let's get into it here. We have suspended Kansas basketball player Silvio DeSouza. And for some of y'all this past week, you've seen the incident with DeSouza. You had a Kansas State basketball game. And in the aftermath of that game, a brawl breaks out. And I'll just run down a few of the details for some of y'all that may not know too much about this incident. So ultimately, Kansas and Kansas State, they're playing one another. Okay, if you know anything about Kansas and Kansas State, or KU and K-State, as the folks there refer to it, it's one of the most bitter rivalries. For KU and K-State, that game determines who's going to be the king of basketball in Kansas. All right, and I remember when I was in the military, I served with a couple of cats that were KU fans and K-State fans, and just like when the game, that week of their game, they didn't talk to one another. They were mortal enemies. So I think it's important that we understand the backdrop and the significance of this game. So ultimately, what happens is Kansas is just whooping up on K-State. I mean, just K-State is just getting whooped on. Whooped. okay? So we get to the last play of the game, and my man Silvio DeSouza wants to, it's the last play of the game. He wants to end the game on a strong mark. He wants to make a statement to let them know that not only have you lost, but I'm going to take your heart too in the process. Hey, when you understand this is a rival game and whatnot, this is just what it is. I don't only want to defeat my opponent, I want to demoralize him. Now, there will be those that will say, oh, that's wrong, that's not sportsmanship and everything. Okay, fine, I get it. But I'm just sharing with y'all what goes through the minds of the players. And we already know, like what I just got through mentioning about how fans react. Oh, yeah, they don't want to just win. They want to demoralize. Why? Because this is for the king of basketball in the state of Kansas. So what happens is on this last play of the game, you've got a K-State player. They're running down the court, getting ready to go in for a layup, and my man DeSouza comes through, makes a beautiful block. I mean, just with authority. Just get that shit out of here, man. Just go on. Just get on somewhere. I mean, and just when he came down, he blocked it with authority. Just bow. And then after he gets done, he adds a nice little exclamation point. And he tells dude, pretty much he stands over, and I'm sure he was looking at him and telling him, man, get that out of here. And y'all can get out of here too. So the guy on the losing team, I forgot the guy's name. I should have wrote it down here. But y'all can Google it. Go Google Silvio DeSouza, and y'all can find out additional information about it. But the dude that he's standing over and taunting, well, he took exception to that, all right? Because, hey, you get humiliated in a game. K-State, pretty much they got blown out by at least 30 points, all right? So you're humiliated, you're getting blown out, and then the last play of the game, a statement gets made where you've ultimately you feel as though you've been punked out and your manhood has been taken from you. And so, you got to react. You got to react to that. And so a brawl breaks out, and they're fighting, there's pushing, and every punch is getting thrown. And DeSouza says, hey, I'm going to win. No holds barred. Now it's a brawl, now it's a fight. And what does DeSouza do? He goes, there's a stool there available for him to grab. He grabs that stool, and he's getting ready to crush somebody. Now, there was a coach there that grabbed the stool away from DeSouza. But you'll watch on ESPN, you'll watch on the national media, what was he going to do with that chair? Oh, my God. Oh, this is so terrible. Oh, and I listen to Stephen A. Smith. I mean, Stephen A., just go sit down somewhere sometimes, man. You just go completely over the top, especially when it comes to an opportunity to berate black athletes, all right? Now, I want to make this clear. What DeSouza did was wrong, okay? Does he deserve to be suspended? Yes. Does he deserve to be suspended indefinitely? No. Because I'm pretty sure that many of those fans, they had the same sentiments that he did. No, what we're talking about is the response of unchecked, uncontrolled black male aggression, okay? Anytime a black man is aggressive, all right, and it's in the eyes of white folks, right? That fear comes into play, right? Oh, he's an animal. All the negative stereotypes that get applied to black men, and that is what is at work here. DeSouza, hey, we've got to teach this Negro a lesson. You should consider yourself lucky to play for Kansas basketball program, you half animal. Okay? Forget about the fact that DeSouza and probably all of those players, they're generating millions of dollars for the KU basketball program and getting nothing in return. They're getting an education that nobody's going to want to hire them when they get done. That's what's happening. So it is what it is as far as that's concerned. But I just wanted to just talk about that for a little bit because I think it's important for people to realize that what's going on here is he is being attacked not so much because of what he did, but because of the fact that there's an underlying fear, a collective fear, because of who and what he is, not because of what he's done. All right? So I just want to make that clear, because we see behaviors all of the time. Fans going into these sporting events. You know, there's been incidents where fans are assaulting players and all of this other kind of stuff, and nobody ever really wants to talk about it. I don't see nonstop national media coverage when these, especially these white folks, these white boys go into a lot of these games. They get drunk, they want to fight with people, they want to start all kind of chaos and nonsense. You know, I'll share a little quick story that I experienced. Went to go watch a Rams game, okay? And you got some white boys sitting behind us, drinking beer, getting drunk, and everything else. Now, the next thing I know, the dude behind me is spilling beer on me, man. Okay? Now, I'm trying to do everything I can to keep calm, and fortunately, it was a one-time incident. I was able to count to 10 and be cool, because it was taking everything I had to keep from jumping over there and smashing that dude's face in. Really. But that type of behavior doesn't get the national media attention. Stephen A. Smith is not going to talk nonstop about that, but he will talk about what's happening with DeSouza. I want to impress this upon y'all one more time. What DeSouza did was wrong, and he deserves to be suspended. An indefinite suspension? No, that's BS. But I'm going to say this to my man Silvio DeSouza. Go to the NBA, okay? Go to the NBA. You are benefiting Kansas, right? And what benefit are you getting? You don't have any guarantee that education that they're giving you is going to equal any money, all right? And they still have a condescending 20th century attitude when it comes to college athletes of, oh, well, you should just be happy to be here. Why? Because I'm generating millions of dollars for your college institution? That's why I should be happy to be here? Or you're getting an education. Yeah, well, in the world today, y'all can't tell me, you're telling me I'm getting an education, but you can't tell me exactly how that education is going to equate to dollars and cents. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but when I was raised and coming up, I was taught that if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So, DeSouza, brother, go to the NBA, go make your money, okay? Forget about these people at Kansas, right? If folks in the NBA say you got a bad attitude, whatever. Go to the NBA, make you some money for 5 or 10 years, get rich, and then if you want to go back to Kansas to get your education, you can do so, and you can hold your head with pride because nobody owns you. You've got your own resources. You can make your own rules, and can't nobody come in your face talking about something. You should be happy to be here. Why? I got my own money. I got my own resources with my own agenda, and I'm not accountable to any one of you. So, DeSouza, take that approach, my man. Don't let these people bully you, okay? Don't. Because what you did is you bought into the rivalry, the intensity of the rivalry. You know, almost like low-key warfare. But now, when you show aggression that they don't like, oh, now it's time to punish you. Forget about them and the fact that they've set the atmosphere and the environment in place. No, it's time to punish him. Just another day in America for a black man, right, family? Hey, thanks, y'all, for listening to this edition of the King LiKuiD Show. I am your man, King LiKuiD. Family, make sure y'all come and check me out online, www.thekingliquidshow.com. That's TheKingLiKuid show.com. Family, I need y'all support. King LiKuiD Show is a part of intelligent, independent, black-owned community radio. So we always ask for $2 a month. $2 a month is all I ask. You can sign up on patreon.com or just go to thekingliquidshow.com and you'll find the link there. You know, support King LiKuiD Show, $2 a month, 50 cents a week. is all I ask as we're growing this platform and building out this channel. Also, remember, family, you can find me on Facebook, on Twitter. Just go there, find me, follow me, tell people about me. If you're finding me on YouTube, listening to this on YouTube, like this video, share this video, subscribe to this video. Appreciate all of y'all tuning in, listening. Give me feedback. I want to see some of y'all comments. If you think that I'm just totally off the mark with what I've said about upcoming Super Bowl 54, or completely off the mark regarding Silvio, DeSouza, and the suspension of the KU basketball player, leave me a comment. I'd like to hear what it is that you think. So I'm going to catch y'all on the next edition of King LiKuiD Show Sports Rap. I'm your man, King LiKuiD. Thanks for listening, and I send every last one of y'all love, power, community, and soul.